Hello everyone. This video is about the mysterious and evolving case of Alexis Sharkey, the Instagram social media influencer who was reported missing over Thanksgiving weekend and also discovered unclothed and no longer living that same weekend. Looking into the timeline, last month, Alexis took a girls' trip with a few of her closest friends, and they are reporting that she confided to them that there was trouble in her marriage. She's been married for about a year. She was married in December last year. She told her friends that she and her husband, Tom, were basically separated but living in the same apartment. She said that her husband was abusive, and abuse can come in many forms, including just exerting power over someone without using any kind of physical violence. Anyway, the friends report that during that girls' trip, the husband kept sending her awful texts, and I have been unable to find any examples of what the awful texts were. Then we arrive at Thanksgiving, which was November 26th. Alexis's husband, Tom, says that they shared a meal together in the morning. Then Alexis went to her friend's house to celebrate Thanksgiving with her friends. Her friend, Tanya Rivera, was the hostess at this get-together. And she said that Alexis had been going over there more often to avoid being home. She and Alexis had plans to get together on Saturday and watch movies all day and hang out. And she states that she last spoke to Alexis on the phone around 6 p.m. on Friday. Tom's story is that on Friday, he and Alexis had an argument, and she hopped over the patio fence and then hopped into a car. And he said that he told her not to drive under the influence. So I'm assuming that he meant she hopped into someone else's car, especially since I heard on Crime Talk that there was surveillance footage from their apartment complex that showed that she did not get into her own car. Then on Saturday, which was November 28th, Tom contacted Alexis's mom in the evening hours saying that Alexis was missing, and I think he told her that the police were involved. And Alexis' mom posted on Facebook at that time about Alexis being missing and asking everybody to keep an eye out for her. Alexis's friends have another story about what happened at that point. 3 friends close to Alexis Sharkey, who simply called her Lex or Lexi, said that their friend feared for her life and was worried about her safety in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Her friends' first names are Lauren, Allie, and Courtney. And they say, "We don't know what happened. We obviously have had ideas. I'm going to be honest, she confided in me about how worried she was for her safety when we went to Marfa, Texas about a month ago. We were sitting down at dinner and she lost it. We walked back to our hotel room and she confided in me that night in things. I looked at her and I thought, she's petrified. This girl is scared for her life." When asked who Alexis was worried about, they remained silent. The friends did not want to discuss who Alexis feared in her life because they do not want to jeopardize the homicide investigation. They've been asked not to talk about the case publicly and not to discuss Alexis's private life while the probe is ongoing. Investigators are looking into the Sharkey marriage as part of their efforts to determine what happened to her. And I should state at this point that she was found unclothed and she had no visible marks on her. So anyway, it was Saturday at 8 a.m. when a public works employee spotted naked feet sticking out of the bushes in the 1000 block of Red Haw near Katy Freeway, which is about 3 miles away from the apartment where Alexis and Tom lived. There were no signs of visible injuries on this young woman, and all they knew at that time was that she appeared to be in her early 20s, and she was a Jane Doe. And police at the time of that discovery were stating that it did appear that she had been there overnight, and they were going to be checking cameras in the area. As it is in an industrial area, there are businesses, etc. However she got there will hopefully have been caught on camera. The husband claims that he reported her missing. I've read someplace else that her friends reported her missing because she is a social media influencer. They last spoke with her at 6 p.m. on Friday night, and one of them called her again at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, and it went through to voicemail and didn't hear from her. Then she and some other friends got concerned because they also noticed that she had not posted anything on social media in at least 12 hours. So they also decided to report her missing, especially after they tried to get a hold of her at her apartment and there was no answer. I think Tom is claiming that he was not there because he was out looking for her. And then Sunday morning, Tom says that he went to the medical examiner's office because he was alerted that there were at least one Jane Doe there that was in the right age range. So he went there and he identified Alexis. And the case does remain under investigation. There has not been a determination of whether this was foul play, but if it's not foul play, it's definitely something suspicious, in my opinion. Tom is no longer speaking to reporters. Tom disputes the girlfriend's accounts of what was going on in his relationship with his wife, and he states that Alexis wasn't always the happy person that she portrayed on social media, and that she had problems with anxiety and such, and he claims that he is the one who comforted her and held her and kept things right for her. He says, "My wife was an amazing woman. She really was. There's always other sides to everything. I was the one holding her, cuddling her, and building her back up. I don't need to set the record straight. I'll let it play out the way it is. I know what my life was with my wife." He states that he's been receiving a lot of threats since his wife's disappearance, and he says that they were happy and there was no divorce happening. He was extremely upset talking to a reporter about how wife hadn't been ID'd at all until he went there on Sunday. And, this is where he made that statement about the last time they spoke. He says, "She understood me. I understood her. We didn't fight when she left. I just told her she couldn't drive under the influence. She left anyhow. This is where we're at." And he didn't elaborate on that. And he told the reporter that he's been cooperating with the detectives and that he turned over all of his wife's messages, emails, and phone calls, and that he feels confident the Houston Police Department can figure out what's going on. And then he abruptly ended that conversation with the reporter, said, I'm sorry, I'm not a jerk, I'm just destroyed." And then he said that he didn't want to be contacted anymore. Her husband uses a lot of exclamation points, which is one of my pet peeves, but he's posted on social media back before he set it to private, and he said, "My world, exclamation point, my everything, exclamation point, I'm so lost right now, exclamation point, my one and only, exclamation point." And another post that he made said, "I just want to say this, exclamation point. While some of you were posting on social media helping us locate my world, exclamation point, and we appreciate all your help, love, and support, exclamation point, others were wasting time talking about other things. Basically crap talk, exclamation point. And if my wife would have seen this, she would be disappointed in your actions! Exclamation point. You all should be ashamed of yourselves! Exclamation point. I have been assisting the deputies in making phone calls to find out what happened to my wife. Next time, 4 dots. Stop and think! Exclamation point. And realize! Exclamation point. You don't know it all! Exclamation point. And he shared a collage of photos of Alexis and said in the caption, "Baby," several dots, "please give me strength. Do you remember when we talked and joked about getting old? And I said," and then some dots, "that's the one thing you would never beat me at. And we laughed so hard because you're so competitive." And he posted a photo of her in a wedding dress, and he wrote, "You made life so incredible!" Exclamation point. "Made sense of my existence!" Exclamation point. "My purpose!" Exclamation point. "And showed me how to truly love!" Exclamation point. And with that, I would just like to remind all of you that if you find yourself in a situation where you feel unsafe, seek help. Get the heck out of there before things get any worse. You don't deserve to be treated in a way that makes you feel unsafe. Thank you for watching Another Day in the Car with JuleZ.